यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ओम ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्र वेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and the entire your family and friends. Let us begin Bhagavad Gita, verse number 8 of 13th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Indriyartheshu Vairagyam Anahankara Evacha जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि दुख दोषाणु दर्शनम. From the last words, Bhagavan has begun enumerating the spiritual virtues, or we can say Vedanta friendly virtues. Otherwise, we can also call it is life friendly virtues. So, in the last words, we have seen 9 virtues. It began from humility, then simplicity, then non-violence, forbearance, uprightness, acharyopasana means service to the teacher, purity, shaucham, sthiryam steadfastness, and atma vinigraha. We were just dealing with atma vinigraha, becoming mastery over the self. Okay, self mastery. In atma vinigraha, we were discussing about the strength to become, our strength to gain, to control our sense organs. I told these Patanjali Yoga Sutras are very helpful. This yama is to tame, is to train our gross body, or we can call it Annamaya Sharira, yama and asana. Then niyama. The niyama is a formula through which you can start controlling your psychological system. Your mind can be trained through niyama as a discipline. Yama, niyama, asana. These 3 disciplines will give a kind of energy you to become fit for your physical and psychological level. Then there is going to be one more sharira, one more body, the body which is figured as the energy. There are 5 pranas: prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. There are 5 kinds of energies are there with every individual body. The 5 pranas are key for our health. If these pranas are disturbed, the health will be collapsed. I mean to say, when your apana vayu is disturbed, it loses its capacity. It is not functioning well, then immediately you will get constipation. Therefore, apana vayu which exists in the navel part. The main part is this waist part. This apana vayu alone helps us to remove all the excreta from our body. If it gets disturbed, the total health will be spoiled. This apana vayu helps you to flush out all the excreta. Not only this, any vayu means vayu and energy, prana, all these words are synonyms. Vayu means you should not think wind here. Many people, they also understand prana means wind, vayu. No, it's like a vayu. The pranas are received from vayu means air when we inhale. So that inhalation gives prana, the energy. That energy is converted into 4 more energies in our body. So the energy which is disturbed will cause for unhealthy. So you will become unhealthy. That's what I mean to. Now, the asanas, yogasanas are the beautiful infrastructures. So they directly hit your prana. All other, gym workout and all, they will only stick with your muscles and bone. But these disciplines will hit directly, will nourish your prana. By nourishing your prana, it will provide you a proper health. That's what the speciality of our yogasana. So by adapting the discipline of yogasana and bringing yama and niyama, you can control your physical and psychological system. If you want to control your emotional faculty called mind, you need to have pratyahara and dharana. So these two practices, pratyahara means withdrawing yourself from outside world. That's what the next, in this verse also, Bhagavan brings one word, indriyarthesha vairagyam. So vairagyam means it's not adamant, one becomes adamant. It's not practicing willpower in wrong way. For example, I was told last week, this both father and son, they have a tremendous vairagya, Swamiji. I asked, how, sir? Because they are not talking for 5 years. They're not talking each other for 5 years? Yes, sir. So how vairagyam? That's what the normal meaning which we make out by the word vairagyam. Vairagyam means it's not hatred phenomenon. It's a matured level. It's a complete maturity of a mind. So when you want to train the mind, you have to be very careful. Therefore, pratyahara, not becoming addicted to any outside world. See, now I'm giving the meaning both together. Indriyarthesha vairagyam, then Atma vinigraha. Atma vinigraha means what? Self-control. Self-control means what? Once you have control over your sense organs, then alone it is possible. Otherwise, it is impossible. Bhagavan brings two words, there are slightly, an extra meaning is there with the indriyarthesha vairagyam. I will come to that. Now, if you want to train your mind, you have to adapt pratyahara. If you want to know what is pratyahara, go and study Patanjali Yoga Sutra. You can't get everything in one class. Pratyahara means, withdrawing yourself from the worldly life, means withdrawing all the addictions. A child, when it needs something, it brings or it throws all the tantrums, his mother. A child becomes adamant whatever it needs. So first, when you give something to you, so for example, chocolate. When you give chocolate to a child, it will eat. So if you keep regularly, giving chocolate to the child, it will become addicted. If you stop, the child becomes violent. So it will adapt, all kinds of the tantruming and causing trouble for others. It will lose its passions. The character will go wrong. Character building means what I'm talking about. In the young age, the character is constructed. If a boy or girl become addicted to something, that addiction immediately it is denied for the object which is needed for, then children become violent. Therefore, we have to be very careful. So physically we become addicted to something, mentally we become addicted to something, habitually we become addicted to something. So becoming addicted to something means what? To get the state of a slave. The slavery attitude must be removed. A person who is a slave cannot get any improvement in the spiritual sadhana. Oh my God, we have to know a person, what I mean to say, a person can be a slave for so many things. There are many people addicted to chai, tea, coffee. addicted to soft drinks even. All these, sugar coated or colored drinks are, they are equal to alcoholic, I tell you. Many people, you may not like, so whenever I speak about food, because we are addicted, therefore people get irritated when I talk. So you need not to get irritated. That's your free will to have food. But be careful, my dear. We are born to live. We are born to live in order to achieve great things. We have to use this limited device to get unlimited vastu. That unlimited vastu is happiness. Now here, Atma means it's not consciousness principle. Atma means body, mind and sense complex. Means Sthula and Sukshma Sharira. Vanigraha means getting control over these two aspects. Now I am coming to these words. Indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankaraha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshana darshanam. There are three virtues which are introduced in these words. The one is Indriyartheshu vairagyam. Both words symbolizes one virtue. Then anahankaraha is the second virtue. The third one is janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshana darshanam. This long sentence means, it's not a sentence, it's a word. It also denotes one virtue. Okay, first let us see Indriyartheshu vairagyam. Indriya means what? Sense organs. We do have what? There are two gates. Every body, every device, it has got two gates. So the entrance gate and exit gate. So what is the entrance gate? All jnanendriya, the sense of knowledge. The organs of knowledge through which we can earn knowledge. The eyes will receive so many knowledge about colors, forms, the figurative sense. Ears can receive the knowledge about sound, saptasvaraha, so the variation of the sound. Okay, so if a mind is connected with the ears, so it will definitely prachanna, means it will encounter the difference of the swaras. Then if a mind is connected to the nose, it can get the various smells. So like every sense organs is the entrance gate. I am talking about the sense of knowledge. So this the gateway. So through this entrance, the world penetrates in us. So these organs are given to use for our welfare, but sometimes we become addicted to this. Nowadays we are addicted to all organs, I tell you, because we are habitual of sitting in the ACs. We are not habitual of going in the sunlight. We don't know the beauty of breeze, the banks of rivers and the seashores. They have very nice breeze. We are not habitual of it. We know only AC, air conditioned room. That air condition, it's not conditioning the air, it is conditioning our health. So this becoming addicted for our sense, touching sense, becoming addicted to all kinds of foods. Nowadays we have started eating the food which are not even taste. So Indian tastes are very healthy for our lifetime. They are very healthy to our system. There are 6 kinds of taste: sweet, bitter, sour, salty. So there are 6 kinds of the healthy taste. But I don't know, the food of foreign countries made up of bread and something, they don't even have, you cannot even understand what kind of taste they are. Sometimes they taste like a mud, but people are very interested. Why? Because the mind is attracted, mind is brainwashed. Mind is brainwashed means they are made as habitual ads. All the ads, they provoke, they bring the temptation towards that food. Then sophisticatedly people becomes a slave for the tongue, slave for even addicted to some certain kind of works. Now we have to be very careful because this gate of entrance has to be restricted. So how can we restrict? That's what the training is. That's what I said, pratyahara. We have to get viraga bhavaha. You have to think about these sense objects, the object which are five in nature. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. Shabda, sound. Careful with the sound, careful with the words, careful with the emotions which are filled in the words. The mind has to be thorough enough. Practicing pratyahara. At the same time, becoming to know the reality of the world, reality of the sound. Developing vairagya. Vairagya means maturity. Disconnecting the attachment. Becoming matured. Now you are not craving to play the plays which you played in the young age. When you were we were at 5 years old, at that time we were tempted to do so many things. We used to shout. We were not worrying about the environments. We were not worrying about who and all is there or not. Now we have become so thorough with so conscious about others, but still the mind is continuing as a slave for something. If we become a little bit conscious enough, we can avoid. Therefore, I have made it 2 gates. This body has got 2 gates. One is entrance. Entrance is very important because that's what our life is. So if you are an informed one, you will be very careful. The meditation is nothing but to regulating the thoughts. Because why I'm telling you cannot remove all the negative aspects in a negative object from the world. World is the mixture of both good and bad. So sometimes what you think bad, it can be good for you. A poison also, it becomes healthy when it is used properly. In a minimum quantity, if you use the poison, it will become the medicine. That's what the Ayurveda is. There are plants. If you eat them as it is, you will be getting the dysenteries. But if they are used in a minimum amount in with the collaboration or with other medicine, then it will be very helpful for our digestive system. It will clean our track, food track, then you will become healthy. You should know means you should become aware what comes in, the borders of India. Now it's become very alert, we are very alert what comes in. At the same time, we should be also alert what goes out, my dear. So what goes out? The expressions. The mouth is a tool for expressions, words, hand gestures, Hari Om, Namaste. So when somebody says like this, so that's a gesture of what? We can understand. When you do like this, and the opposite person also will do like this. When you do like this, opposite also, you can see the person is doing like this. You have to be very careful with outgoing also, the gate of exits. The exit gates are more important because you may lose the energy. This is unique understanding. Today I am talking about yoga class. Usually my meditation class will contain these particulars. Either, both gates will suck your energy. Karmendriyas and Jnanendriyas, they need pranas to work. When you receive knowledge, you become tired. When you express something, you become tired, because pranas are the common fuel, is the common for the gate, which are in the form of exit, which are in the form of entrance. We should know how to maintain the pranas. The pranas are received from food, water, air, space, by good thoughts, adapting positive thoughts, positive discipline, positive formulas. So you can save the energy by adapting 20 virtues. That's what Bhagavan is bringing here. Indriyartheshu vairagam. Indriya means sense organs, means there are 10 organs. Artha means the object of those indriyas. Vairagya means dispassion. You have to achieve the dispassion towards the worldly object. How to develop this dispassion? By encountering the reality of it, because your indriyas are yours. Don't allow them to become slave for these sense objects. Tongue needs sweetness, doesn't matter. You can give that. You can allow your tongue to enjoy it, but don't allow your tongue to become a worker or slave for the taste. If you like gulab jamun, rasagulla, jalebi, or jangri, or whatever the sweet or even spicy things, I have seen so many people, they like spicy. Spicy is food, but be with a limitation and fix a limitation. You just go along with that. Don't lose your health. Don't gain more weight. It means what? People are not aware about their entrance. Okay. So entrance, when you are here, you should not be like a dharma prabhu. You should be like a straight person. Okay. You have to be as a judge. You have to be like a mediator or a telephone operator. He is very careful about what comes in, what goes out. The transaction, you have to be very careful with your transaction with your mind and indriyas, and you have to be careful between the transaction of the worldly object in your indriyas and mind. Then you will gain the energy. When you become matured with your indriyas, and that too in the transaction of object and indriyas, you can save lots of energy. You will gain even time. Among 24 hours, people think I don't have time at all for anything. No, we lose the times through our sense organs, through our mind, thinking something, So always thinking something which is not reasonable, which is not even needed. Just keep all the things away. Just pick the thoughts, pick the action, what are and all the required action, required thought can be engaged with. Otherwise, just keep as a meditator yourself. Keep silent. Now there is vairagya. Vairagya means having dispassion towards everything. This is also a virtue said by Lord Krishna. Then anahankaraha. It's not bringing kartrutva in every actions. First of all, I should bring the knowledge what is ahankaraha. Ahankaraha means not ego here talked about. Then what else Bhagavan is giving here? Just to understand what is ahankara. Ahankara is the ego. Ego means not garva, not gamand, not dominating others. This is like a kartrutva buddhi, doership. So don't engage your mind to enjoy the doership with the actions you engaged with. Just have a prasada buddhi. You are not the doers. We are not the doers. Only the Ishvara is the person who is a proper doer. But he also says, I don't have that. Chatur varnyam maya shrishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha tasya kartaram api mam vidya kartaram avyayam. Beautifully he says, so akartaram avyayam iti mam vidhi. I am not a doer at all, but I do everything. How it is possible? That's what prasada buddhi makes it very clear. So your ahankara is the center of the universe. That we think ourselves, I am the center of my whole life. I am the responsible person of all karma phala. We should take the responsibilities, but we should not engage our kartrutva buddhi, doership. In simple way, if we want to understand, I can give in 5 or 4 minutes. Okay, what is ahankara? Now, what is ahankara? Kartrutva buddhi. What does it mean? Kartrutva buddhi. It seems to be very huge technical term. Kartrutva buddhi. So it's very simple. When you lift your hand, you cannot lift your hand without the notion that I am lifting. It comes automatically. You cannot, so think something else and you lift your hands. No. Even though you are engaged with something, but when you lift your hand, so you are getting the notion that I am lifting. I am doing this job, lifting. So this is what, if you pick something, you get the notion of, so I am the doer. I am doing, so I am walking, I am talking, I am sleeping. So you get that I am the doer, the state you get automatically. Mind and buddhi, it gets automatically that doership. But as spiritual speaker, he says, you are not the complete responsible for this job. You become an instrument. Your ahankara is not that much capable of bringing every incidence into one place. For example, you want to cook any delicious food, you need water, you need all kinds of ingredients. All those ingredients are not cultivated by you. There are people who cultivated it, and there are people who brought up to the shop. So you made, you gave the order. In between, there are agencies who just delivery at the door. You received it and gas was supplied from somebody else. You paid money, that's okay, but it includes lots of efforts of the people. So you cannot wound that ownership, but always we just convert this doership into a ownership. So who cooked it? I cooked it. Oh, food is very tasty. I cooked it. Okay, you cooked, you become an instrument. But all the things, ingredients, and the teacher who taught you how to cook, he should also get the benefit of that admiration. That's what, understanding the limitation of the ahankara is known as anahankara. Shall I repeat again? Understanding the limitations of ahankara is known as anahankara. Not engaging or not converting doership into the enjoyership. Enjoyership means what? With ownership. I am the doer. Because of me it happens. Because of me it happens. Sometimes it is good way. So when somebody prays, so you accept, that's me. Who draw this paint? Marvelous, superb. It's me. Sometimes, people will also scold at you. So who did it? Who drawed it? It's words, the expression. Then you may not proclaim that I am. I was the person. I am the person who did it. But we start worrying, becoming sad for the comment. Again, we are flattered by the comments. We are becoming addicted to. We are victimized by the comment. This is what the job of ahankara. Ahankara makes you become happy and makes you become a sad one. Therefore, be careful with your ahankara. Ahankara sometimes wails, it loses. So when you are overwhelmed by, or you are overconfident of your talent, it means you are just engaging and encouraging your ahankara. Don't do it. Ahankara is the one phenomenon which is supplied according to our karma phala. This is like a current. So when there is a fan which is rotating, so that rotation is because of what? Current. So when the current is not there, so rotation will stop. Now the rotating fan, you cannot say that the current exists always. The current is supplied second by second, like that. The ahankara, which is in the form of consciousness, it is supplied according to our karma phala. Therefore, if you have the consciousness well informed, and the consciousness unto which or to which there are so many degrees are given, then that conscious becomes a scholarship, as a scholar consciousness. I am talking about ego, the limited consciousness. So you were called a scholar, the great scholar. the consciousness which has not yet gone to the school, which is not yet being informed, that consciousness, always it is under the influence of inferiority. That's also supplied. And he becomes owner. If he, that person who is not studied well, if he becomes a owner of the company, he will also get superiority. The ahankara, so which thinks I am the great, which also thinks I am the worst. So all these things because of karma phala. The karma phala brings a boosted ahankara and thrashed ahankara and or looted ahankara, whatever the way. And dealing with ahankara is a very challenging job. We need to work a lot to bring anahankara. It's very difficult, I tell you. Therefore, we have to be very careful with ahankara. So, Bhagavan Krishna had given enough practice for it. We have to have different practice to beat our ahankara. Nobody should, tame from outside. It's not tamed from outside. The people who are becoming easily hurt, they also adapt ego. The people who always hurt others, they are also victim of ego. So we are victimized by our ahankara. A person who is not victimized by ahankara, who just controls ahankara, who is just taming ahankara, to training ahankara to engage, to be engaged with dharma, that person can be an ahankari. Then the next one is Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukha Doshana Darshanam. Anudarshanam means, just to observe, to note, to observe. What is to observe? Dukham and Dosham. There are so many loopholes and defects are available with all the enjoyments. We think so many things are causing the enjoyments. A healthy body gives happiness, but the same healthy body will become unhealthy in a day. It will cause for total sorrow. The birth of a person gives happiness. The death of the person will give unhappiness. Therefore, Janma Mrityu, where there is a birth, there the experience of death will take place. These are all opposite, But Bhagavan is not bringing as the opposites. These are all the phenomena which we don't have control on. We cannot control. So, was there any control which we had on our birth? If we would have had the control over our birth, we would have been born somewhere else. We would have selected somewhere in foreign countries. Because after being born in India, people think that we are not given so much freedom. The many people from abroad, they are amazed by seeing the system of our Indian families. The family is the glory, and people, they don't like, if somebody is keep on observing me. And parents also have changed now. They are ready to accept children how they are, but children should have discriminating capacity, because they have a big world in the small device form called a mobile. I'm not against for any kinds of technology development. Even I welcome a lot, we welcome a lot, but we should know how to deal with them. The first device which we have is known as body. So body contains birth and death. The birth gives happiness, death gives unhappiness. And this health gives happiness, unhealth gives unhappiness. So youth means that engage, youthness will bring happiness, but old age brings unhappiness. There are both sides. If at all you want to accept the life as a positive side, then you should know. So there are both sides, the both side like a coin. Where there is health, there can be unhealth. You should know how to take it positively. That is what positive attitude is. Positive thinking is not to negate the negative. So accepting negative with a positive thinking. That's what the reality. That's what the teaching of Bhagavan Krishna. So in these words we have completed 3 virtues. In the last verse Bhagavan introduced 9 virtues, and in this verse there are 3. So 9 and 3 we have completed 12 virtues. With the remaining 8 virtues are going to take place in the forthcoming verses that we will continue from next session tomorrow. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namo Namah. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.